Welcome to Dreamweaver Stories, where dreams come alive through inspiring journey. I'm your host, Jenny Jing Zhu, author of Dreamweaver and entrepreneur who built over $100 million business from a humble beginning as a nanny. I know how scary it is to dream big and how hard it is to make those dreams real. On this show, please follow me traveling the world to meet incredible women, dreamweavers, who have turned their visions into reality. Together, we will share their stories to inspire women and younger generations to dream boldly and walk their path with courage. Because when we dream together, anything is possible. Welcome back to Dreamweaver Stories. Today, I'm sitting down with a dear friend, a trailblazer in luxury real estate, Maggie Gold Seelig. Maggie is not just one of the most trusted names in real estate. She is a woman who leads with heart and intention. As the founder of MGS Group Real Estate, she's built a business in holding not some of the biggest and high-stake transactions, but what makes her truly inspiring is not just her success, it's the way she approaches business and life with authenticity and impact and the deep sense of the purpose. She doesn't just close deals, she builds relationships, lift others up, and make every decision with a meaning. Because we're talking about this year is the word both of us use, the purpose. So I'm so happy to have you. We are today not just talk about the defining moment in her journey, the risks she took, and how she redefining the success on her own terms. So we will also explore motherhood, leadership, reinvention, and how she is making the purpose her focus in 2025. So Maggie, welcome to Dreamweaver Stories.
Thank you for that beautiful introduction. I feel very welcome, and I feel really excited to be sitting down and talking with you today.
I'm so happy.
We'll have some fun.
Yes. Before we dive into everything else, I would love for our listeners to get to know you and what do you do. Can you share what MGS Group is all about and what set it apart in the real estate world and what made you take the leap to start your own firm? That's a lot of questions.
Wow. All right. Well, sit down, buckle up. I'm an accidental business owner, and you know that, and I've told you that. I never intended to start a business. I never intended to start a real estate business, a brokerage firm. I'm a lawyer by training. I thought I'd spend my whole career in a courtroom, representing clients, which I did do in the 90s and early 2000s. And the business was really born out of a passion and a void. So I had this passion as I was practicing law for real estate. Following the markets and looking at properties and thinking about renovating them and helping friends to think about reimagining spaces. And I just got excited. So I was this lawyer who would sort of study the real estate markets and understanding the data and really analyzing that. And then what I found as I and my friends started, in our, kind of early years, started to think about buying a first place or started to think about how we were going to get out of a rental and into a first home, and then people who were going from first home to second home and upsizing, I was realizing we weren't really being served well. And we weren't being advised. And if you look at the title on my website or on my business card or anything that has my name on it, it says Maggie Gold Seelig, real estate advisor and broker. And what I pride myself on and what MGS Group really was born out of was an advisorial service, a real partner in a real estate process so that the outcomes of buying or selling, the actual transaction was not the focus. The focus is the relationship, my relationship with you, Jenny, as a client, and your trust in me, my trust in you. And we can talk some about that. But it was really that there wasn't this family office approach to real estate, and people were really craving that. And that's how MGS Group was started. Passion and a void in the market.
That's awesome. I think it's you are stepped into it. You really make it about all the people first. When we talk about it, you talk about all your team. So as an entrepreneur, especially women, I think we often face the moment where, you have to take a leap of faith, even when there's no safety net. I believe from the lawyer to, start a business. Can you share a moment when you had to bet on yourself where
I wake up, Jenny, and I bet on myself every day. It hasn't stopped.
that's
It's your
exactly
bets.
so?
Jenny, are you placing your bet on me? I hope so. No,
Yeah.
it's true. I actually wake up. I wake up every day. I was telling, actually, I'm buying a new car. And I was telling the car salesman yesterday, who's a young guy who's meeting all of these Range Rover sales goals, etc.
Mm-hmm.
And I was talking with him and the head of the dealership. And we were just talking about that even when you're doing really well in your business, you have to wake up hungry as an entrepreneur. And it doesn't matter where you scale it to or where you get it to. And we've talked about this, Jenny, ourselves, but like that, that anxiety that sits with you
Yeah.
when you're holding the responsibility, whether it, and whatever realm that is.
Mm-hmm.
I own 100% of my business. It's really lonely.
Yeah.
It's really scary. And I'm responsible for the livelihood and of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm responsible for my own livelihood. So leap of faith. I mean, leap of faith didn't just happen the day I decided to start a business, right? I could have gone in and just done brokerage work at another brokerage firm. That just wasn't at the time at all interesting to me in terms of where I needed to go and how I wanted to do things. So that was the original leap of faith. But every day as my business evolves or as I take on another agent or an employee or make a decision to go into a new market because our client needs something and there's demand and I need to serve the client holistically, I take a leap of faith. There daily, I feel like there are moments where I have to do that.
So it's like, we are in the same forum with the YPO. You feel like, definitely we all know there's a super lonely. There's a lot of things we have to figure out. Like it's a lot of pressure when you wake up, like, every day. You need to have the energy, have the drive. You are responsible to so many things. So how you think is like, why do you think have a strong community, like whether it's a business or like the personal life, like we're together. I just feel like, it's so important. What is that kind of the YPO community, our forum, like you feel like so important to you personally or like professionally in a way?
Yeah. I mean, look, there aren't a lot of opportunities for CEOs of companies to sit down or founders or both to sit down and really talk openly, not transparently, because I'm a very transparent person.
You are. From the first day I met you.
Yeah, in every interaction, I actually engage in a super clear way just because I'd rather tell somebody like what I'm thinking than have them wondering what I'm thinking.
Guessing word.
I think people deserve that. I prefer that in return. I really don't like fuzzy, I'll call it, or I prefer clarity, even when it's something you don't want to hear. I think clarity matters more actually in the tough conversations.
Right.
But it's so refreshing, the YPO forum to me, and especially to be in an all women's YPO forum, to have really smart people sitting around a table for a good chunk of time every month, really there to listen to one another and to participate in a confidential and just honest conversation around a variety of things. I mean, I think we've all had those moments around the table where it's like, oh my God, yeah, I didn't even understand a financial statement, or I still don't really understand a financial statement without my accountant. So, I think that there's so much of the world that thinks that, we all do it all. But I think in that room, we feel very comfortable, or I feel very comfortable to just be like, yeah, I don't even know what that means. I have no idea what that means.
It's so funny when you
I
talk
need
about
help with this, and I don't know where to get the help that I think I need. And then somebody will have like an idea or a totally different, you know what I mean? And it's like, wow, thank you. Like, thank you for helping me. And how can I be helpful to you? I mean, that's what I find most exciting about it.
Yeah, it's just so funny when you're talking about it. I remember that's kind of a lot of the people when they think about a Maggie or they think about Jenny, say, oh my God, look what you guys build. Like, when we talk about it, there's a lot of things we don't really know. You just have to figure out. Like for me, when private equity reach out to me, I don't even know what the PE means. What is like a EBITDA means at that time. You just like, okay, I built the margin, I built the business, I'm like running it. A lot of things we don't know, but it's like that's
100%.
so refreshing because with a lot of women there and they're try to dream to be somewhere, but a lot of them they think, oh my God, I don't know so many things, I'm not ready. You're starting overthinking.
There's no time to be ready.
Exactly. You'll never be
time to
ready. Just do it. Exactly.
Nike has it right. Just do it. There's many things in life. There's never a perfect moment for.
Exactly.
And so if you're waiting for a perfect moment to do something or start a business, now listen, some people, their fortitude, they're not going to feel comfortable not knowing where their income is coming in, or they're not able to do that.
Yeah.
I had the good fortune at the time that I started my business. I had a great job in law. I had a then husband who's now an ex-husband and still a cheerleader of mine in life, not just business. But I had some cushion to try this thing.
Right, right.
And you have to be okay to fail too. And I think so much of what we do and with social media and some of the chatter is, oh yeah, and then I went and I sold my business and I did this and I got this client. And it's like, I sit around and I actually talk a lot about my failures because all of the net success, right? Like I can take out the awards and show you the stuff and big deals and the clients that are so happy. I've had really not great stuff happen business-wise or things that didn't go the way that I had hoped for a client. And I often share those stories with people because that's reality. Yeah. Reality is imperfectly perfect.
That's
and
so
it's the
important.
Imperfections that are actually more interesting. I've learned more from what's gone wrong than what's gone right.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely is, when you think about it, it's like all this setback, I think it's where we find the real strength, right? It's like
100%.
That's kind of a lot of things. The reason I wanted to start this, talking to all these women in the like real story, real women and the real things we're doing. I think it's like, it's not just like on the social media, we're talking about it. You say, oh my God, everybody just suddenly overnight, you become like so success, you're glamorous.
That's not reality.
It's
that's
not reality. Yeah. So that's kind of like, it's just so important for so many like women like you, like us to just talk about it. It's not just like how much we achieved. It's really how many times we fell.
100%.
Right.
And I fall every day, to be clear.
So I think
I keep getting up. That's the good news.
Yes, I think that's the reason I think we can claim we achieved a lot of things to be successful is because we never really, just stuck there. We're always moving. I said that my superpower is crying, but every time I cry, but I always wipe my tears. I was still going. It's not you crying and then you stop. So it's interesting. I think, when we talk about it, about, in the meeting, we say like, what is the word for the 2025? I think both of us has a purpose, right? For 2025.
You like my word.
I love it. I said, oh my God, where you're so in sync. So I think it's that, both know purpose is not just something you find it like once, right? It's evolving as we grow, we live. So has been there some moment when you felt disconnected from your sense of the purpose? How did you find your way back? What is really you mean like with the purpose for 2025?
Yeah. So I appreciate that question because distilling kind of into a word goes into professional, goes into personal, goes into how I'm engaging with people and with process and with things. I find so much because I'm in a customer service business at its core. I'm in a people business.
Yeah.
Which I love. I love people. So much of me is wanting to pivot to do whatever somebody might want in that moment. I find that I lack boundaries. And I think that's one of the reasons that I'm successful in my work, in the way that I do my work. And I lack boundaries personally as well. Like I'm always overextending. I always want to be helpful. I not to the detriment of myself, meaning like but I'm even in law school when everybody else was ripping books out of the, pages out of the books in the library, I'm giving my law school outlines to somebody else because I've studied for the test. I feel good. I don't need somebody else to fail for me to succeed. But purpose is something different. It's about valuing your time. And I think I don't always do that. And saying, okay, where can I be most purposeful in how I'm spending my time? And that's really what I meant by that word for 2025 is like, okay, when I process something, Jenny, you asked me to do this, this podcast. I'm really busy. You're really busy. I know this is a priority for you. And you explained to me why it's a priority for you. And it's a beautiful reason why you're doing Dreamweaver stories.
Cute.
It hit my heart. And so I've, like I said, declined podcasts many, many times, but it was part of Purpose 2025 was to feel like I was spending my time in a way that was meaniful. And
you
so
live with
this
the
is a perfect
intention.
example. It's a perfect example of like, actually my phone's blowing up. If you see my desk, I have a million things going on. I've got people offering buys. I've got a meeting, in 54 minutes with a potential new client. And I wanted to make time for this because letting other women hear these stories is super critical. And I wish that for me and the little girl before me and the little girl before that and the immigrant parents and grandparents that I had, that these stories are so important. So this is purpose. Being here with you is an example of me living Purpose 2025.
So grateful. And I'm so grateful to women, and we're so grateful to learn from each other. I just like, from the day one when we met, I said, oh my God, Maggie is so real. You just like, it's so refreshing and inspiring. I really appreciated that. And also, like, you build this very successful business, and there's like your two full-time job. We all know we're single mom, and we did, you have kids and you have the business. How do you navigate the push and pull of these roles? And do you feel that being a mom has shaped the way you lead in the business?
So I'm going to say, and that's a really interesting thing to think about. My kids grew up speaking real estate because I work all the time and I didn't want to miss certain things in their life if I could possibly not miss it. And so I feel like they sat since they're babies in the car seat, sitting backwards in the bucket seat. They were listening to my calls and, my talking on the phone, the speakerphone in the car. They learned, be quiet, mommy's on a call. They learned what confidentiality meant at an early age because they would hear a lot of things. And I deal with a lot of high profile clients. And I had my kids engaged in my business, not just sitting in the car in the backseat absorbing, but all right, come on, help mommy turn on all the lights in the house and open up the shades. And here's my client and meet my client and help me to get this, that, or the other done. And we're going to go do an open house and let's go do it together. So I really included my kids in the business. In part, I wanted them to see what was taking so much of my time.
Right.
And know that my kids know that they come first. My kids know that my phone rings. I always say that I go into a meeting. I should have told you this. My phone rings. And I said this in YPO in our first meeting for 4 people.
Yeah.
My 3 sons and my mother, who's going to be 88 in April. The phone will ring. And if it rings and it's them, I will pick it up. I
Right.
don't care who I'm meeting with, what it is, what it is. My kids know, and my mom knows, my phone rings for them. I will say, is it urgent? If I'm in
Uh-huh.
this and the phone rings, I'll say, is it urgent? And they know to say
Uh-huh.
yes or no. If it's not, and 99% of the time, it's not urgent.
Right.
But 1% of the time it is, and it means they're at the children's hospital with a concussion, or it means they
Gosh.
need the
Yeah.
mommy. My mom needs these. So I am really clear about how my kids play into it, but they know that I work really, really hard. And I think one of the nicest things about that is they see that I'm passionate about something in addition to them,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
that I live for them. I do. And I have a lot of other things in my life that give me joy and that give me purpose and that
Uh-huh.
give me pleasure and that give me headaches, not just them. So it's all of those things, right? It's
It's
really
it's
interesting.
beautiful.
I do think it's really great for kids to see their moms work and
It's
work.
a lot of time. I feel like it's not really how much time you spend with them. What is it really learn is from your behavior.
Yeah.
Like the hard
Also,
work, the
your value
resilience.
system. Yeah. Sure,
Yes.
you tell your son, work hard.
Yeah.
You're going to achieve if you work hard. I never really praise outcomes, almost never. I
Uh-huh.
care about, did you work hard
The
today? Were you
effort.
nice today?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Were you the best person that you could be today? And sometimes you can be a better person than you can other days. Everybody only has what they can bring to the table that day. But did you bring your best version of you that you were able to bring today? So yeah, it's interesting
It's
being a working mom, eh?
Yeah, I love it. It's so beautiful. It's also like when you really look back, I feel like there's so many lessons we learn, whether it's personal or professional. I learned so many. I think sometimes the biggest lesson I learned is like through the darkest time.
Yeah.
So I was wondering, for you, is like there's something you're going through is really changed perspective or realization about it, approaching the life or business.
My goodness. Like in terms of a negative thing
Doesn't
or
matter what it is, whatever you feel like a positive and that negative is
say the
really like
question again, Jenny?
it's like, is there's something when I think about it, when I look back, right? It's like one lesson learned is like, for example, when I had this business partner, the betrayal is literally overnight. I almost lost my everything at the dream. This
Yeah.
like is a stability. But I feel the biggest lesson on what I learned through that darkest time is like, it's no matter what happened, it's feel like that it's just temporary. When I look back at that time, I
Yeah.
feel, oh my God, it is almost the end of the world. But now
Yeah.
when I think, oh my God, this is really, it's kind of where I needed to be whoever, what I am
Yeah. Who you
today.
are.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the hardest things that I went through that I think I realized, wow, like if you're just an honest, good person,
Uh-huh.
things will work out.
Yeah.
But a really scary thing for me was I was a witness in a lawsuit, in a real estate lawsuit, a witness, called as a witness
Uh-huh.
in a brokerage lawsuit. I was not a party to the lawsuit. I
Uh-huh.
was a witness
Yeah.
and I testified truthfully.
Yeah.
And the plaintiff in the case didn't like my testimony. And he went on to bring a claim against me with the brokerage regulatory board that regulates my license, my livelihood, my business. And it was a complete baseless claim saying that my testimony was false and this and that, and that I should be my license should be taken away. And even though I knew it was not true,
Uh-huh. It's
I
scary.
couldn't sleep. Yeah,
Gosh. Yes.
because as a lawyer, I know sometimes the truth doesn't prevail,
Yeah.
and especially when it comes to regulatory lawsuits, the crazy plaintiff, when they're crazy, they're given a lot of deference so that they're made sure that they're heard.
Mm.
And obviously I had to hire a lawyer and I had to go through all these things, and it kept me up at night. Like, what if by some crazy chance
Yeah.
I don't get through this? It seems impossible because I've only been honest.
Yeah.
I think it was like a wake-up call for me that was like, wow, even when you're an honest, good person,
Uh-huh.
really kind of scary stuff can happen. I'm not talking about like situational scary, like, oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
the banks are failing and all my escrow money is at first. Like, that's actually really scary. But I learned some banking things about it, but I didn't, like, there was nothing that I could have done better or been more careful about. It's like, you don't expect to go under. Like, you
Right.
just don't
Right.
expect that. But this was something that really scared me and really gave me pause. Like, wow, I realized like how much I really was responsible for and how much that license impacts
Right.
everything. And it's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I just
Yeah.
testified truthfully, but it was a very scary thing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of like, that's part of, the life. A lot of time is the business just added to another layer
Yep.
of the stress. But that's why it's like, I feel like it take a lot of courage
Yeah.
to not just live a life, but to live an entrepreneurial life to dealing with all this,
It's an
crazy thing.
unsettling life. It's not, it's,
That's why they say like entrepreneur is not for the faint of the heart.
no, you have to, and there are some really smart people that are excellent employees and
Mm-hmm.
excellent C-suite or excellent marketing or excellent sales, and they're just not meant to be founders of companies or, kind of going out on your own kind of things or, freelancing or whatever it may be. If you can't withstand not having 40 hours a week of steady income or whatever that looks like for you, it's really hard to make that leap to an entrepreneurial belief that you can take that.
So like, it's in the Dreamweavers community, a lot of dreamers, do want to have their own business or starting their career. So like, I was thinking if you sit across from whether your younger self as, the lawyer or like, that woman just starting out, right? Filled with this excitement, but also is so many, the doubt, the fear. So what would you say to her?
Say, workshop your idea. You want to make sure your idea is viable. There are many ideas that I've had of like things like, I'm like, that would be so cool, or that would be really interesting. But until you have some data to support your idea or some information that helps to inform that the idea is something that can crystallize and become, a real thing. Surround yourself with people that you trust,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's two of your friends. Two friends that you trust can be your advisory board. It doesn't need to be
Right.
official. It doesn't need to be business people. Find people who will be honest with you and push back on your idea. Yes, people, I surround myself with no people. Maggie, that's crazy. No, or Maggie, how are we ever going to do that? Now, I happen to have my amazing assistant, Nicole, who's an entrepreneurial, unicorn. She rides this with me, right? So like, I'll be like, oh, we're having Worksgiving and I want to come dressed as a turkey. And then the next day there's a turkey costume. I don't know, like she makes my zany possible, but like, she'll also check me and be like, Maggie, like we do the crazy stuff. Like, there's no way we're getting that done, or there's
Mm-hmm.
no way that
Mm-hmm.
that's going to be possible or whatever. But we try to, I would say, try to push the possible and surround yourself with people that will push back and engage in
Mm-hmm.
real conversations around what could the obstacles be? How can you deal with those obstacles when they come up? Because they inevitably will. There's no smooth path. Anybody who tells you your path is going to look like, let's see,
Gosh.
is
Yeah.
lying.
That's
Because it's like, do, 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 down, do, 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 do,
big
do, do,
lie.
do, 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 do. Squirrel, squirrel, come back here, but you know what? No matter how I looked at it, even if it was one step forward, two steps back, three steps forward, one step back, five steps forward, two steps back, I was still moving forward.
Yeah.
And, just keep track of that. And then also knowing when to discontinue something is, I think, a really important skill to being an entrepreneur is like, you know what? I tried that. It didn't really work. And so why didn't it work? Is there another way that I can be doing it? Or should I just abandon that idea? You have to have the fortitude within yourself to say, I'm okay stopping there, and okay, that didn't go well. So, okay, I spent a bunch of time and effort and money on that, but I've got to put that now over here.
Sometimes I think it's like if you really wanted to do something, they say the regret for later you will regret it so much more. Like you did it, you failed, right? Versus you never did it. It's like a lot of people when they getting later, they don't have time on it. They say, "Oh my God, I wish I did it. I
Yeah,
wish I
no,
tried
I
it."
would
And
I think we all
yeah,
try to live lives of no regret.
mm-hmm.
And I don't think there's such a thing as a life with no regret. I think
Yeah,
there's always you think, wow, if I coulda, woulda, shoulda done a whatever. And so I think people need to release themselves of that and also give themselves the space to make
please.
stuff happen that they want to stay to make happen. And also give yourself grace for the things that you can't make happen. Not every moment in time is the moment in time to start something new.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So it's got to be a real mix. It's a dangerous, exciting cocktail, but it's got to be the right time, the right people, the right idea. And that's explosive, right? But
Yeah.
most new things fail. So you also have to be okay with accepting failure, which
Mm-hmm.
is just a momentary failure. Failure doesn't mean forever you're doomed and forever you're whatever.
Yeah.
No, it's like, all
It's
right,
like,
that didn't work.
sometimes you see, like, when they think about failure, such is negative words. But if you think it's just a lesson, whatever it is, just a
Percent.
lesson.
I mean, right? In
Right.
grade school today, they say mistakes are the best thing you can make. That's how you're going to
Yeah,
learn.
exactly. So this is so fun. So I want to ask you a few really fun questions. So I always think like, when you think about it, like women entrepreneur a lot of time, oh my God, you have to be dressed up like a dude with a suit, with the stuff. So I always say, maybe one day we will have this fashion show with this like badass women and are just
Okay.
dressed up like a Met Gala, whatever. It's
I'm
like,
in.
so, okay, I want to ask you something. If you could walk a runway, right, in a fashion show, Met Gala, like in our way, what would you dress to? Like, what would you walk around with that represent everything you have overcome, like as a struggle, the wins, the women you are today? What would you wear? What song would you walk to? And what message would you want to send it to the world? What do you wear first?
Well, do you mean a brand or like what it would look
Matter,
like?
whatever it is.
So I'd wear Chanel. Chanel is my, um, yeah, if I put that on today, I have it off for our conversation, but I wear a Chanel jacket or knit, not every day, but almost every day. And
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's like part of my uniform. And it makes me instantly feel better. Or if I just put a blazer on, or sometimes it's just putting my glasses on, or
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Sometimes it just makes me feel, and I'll tell you a little secret.
Uh-huh.
It's not a little secret. I go into any meeting, I
Mm-hmm.
just happen to have one in my hand. In my bag at any given time, I have like 10 lip glosses. I have a lip gloss problem. I stop a meeting, I just put it on in my podcast. Like I lip gloss, a blazer or a knit,
What's
my
your favorite
glasses, I
brand of the
feel
lip gloss?
I'm
Lip
ready to
gloss, what do
go.
you
I'm
use?
ready to go, right? I don't need to do much more than this. Look, here we go.
Look. So
Now
you
she's
are
ready
the
to go.
Chanel girl. Gosh, looks so good.
Right? I mean, it's
Yes.
like it's a game changer. I just feel more put together. I feel like I've
Uh-huh.
got my coat of armor on. I'm ready. I'm ready for
That's
whatever comes
beautiful.
my way. It just you know what? I learned that as a young lawyer that we always, you could have casual outfits in the office.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
And even when you dress casually, you should dress with purpose.
Yeah.
You went into the courtroom and you wore, whether it was a pantsuit or a skirt suit or a dress or whatever, you dressed appropriately for the forum. You
Uh-huh.
dressed for the judge, the court, the clerk, there was a respect that you
Yeah.
showed.
Yeah.
And you instantly felt different every time
Uh-huh.
I put that suit on, not
Uh-huh.
like a business power suit, like it
Right,
could be
right.
whatever. It could have been
Yeah.
bright pink. It
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter. It was you felt different. And I learned that, wow, like when I go into meetings or I go to meet with clients or I go to our
Uh-huh.
YPO meetings, I don't come schlumpy. I don't.
Uh-huh.
I don't feel good looking like
Uh-huh.
that. I won't come in Lululemon pants that I would go work out in. I'm
Uh-huh.
going to put, my mom always said, don't leave the house without putting your face on. She meant you put forth the best version of you that you can put forth, right? I didn't show up to this with no makeup on and not being dressed appropriately. I'm dressed just how I dressed for work today, but that's uniform. I always say this is my work uniform.
That's beautiful.
Jeans,
I love that.
Jeans, a blazer, a knit, done. What more do you need? People know in the summer it could be a dress, but people know this is what I wear. They expect this when I show up. It's not a surprise, but I wear jeans every day almost, whether they be a wide leg or a skinny jean and a booty. What is the answer to your question though? What was the next part of the question?
What a song would you walk to?
Wow. In a fashion show, what song would I walk to? This girl is on fire. This girl is on fire. She's walking on fire. This girl is on fire. You got me.
So
right?
that's the song. Okay, you got your brand, you got your song. What a message would you want to send to the world?
I would want to send to the world that people are beautiful and that I value humanity and I value community and I value helping others. And I do believe that the power of togetherness is actually what makes us better and makes the world better. There's so much divisiveness in this country right now and in our world. It really is a sad statement of where we've come as a country and as a world's community. But I believe one person at a time. And if we stick together and then we bring more people and we bring more people. So my message would be one of positive community.
You are one story. We're doing one story at a time. And you are like, I think today with all of this, you're going to inspire so many people. One of the last quick question. Where do you want to eat, pray, love? Pick three, either city or country.
Okay. I want to eat in New York City. I want to love in Italy. And I want to pray in Israel.
Awesome. Wow, beautiful. So, Maggie, this is so awesome. What I love about you is like you're so real. It's about like,
take it or leave it, baby. It's what you got. It's what you got.
I really appreciated your time. And to like everyone listening, remember you don't have to have it all figured out. And you dream, you take risk, you most importantly believe in yourself, just
Amen.
like Maggie. Yeah.
You girls are on fire.
I wish you had that voice.
Girls are on fire. Thanks so much for you and everybody watching. You inspired me today. So thank you. I'm going to go to my next meeting and I'm going to go try
Go. Just get that dude down. Get that dude down. Maggie, go.
Thank you.
Love you.
All right. Love you.
See you soon.
Bye, guys.